Hey everybody, it's Cynthia Porter with Visit Winona. Ed Hoffman is running the camera and we are Facebook Live 500 feet above the Mississippi River right now. We're at Great River Bluff State Park because you sent us here this week. Thank you so much. What a beautiful day. And actually I just saw the weather forecast. The whole weekend is going to be like this. The fall color out here is tremendous. But some good news, we're not at peak yet. In fact, I think that we're probably a good week or maybe a little bit longer from being at peak. And so that means that you have a chance to get in the car and come down or come over whatever direction you're coming from. We are 15 miles south of Winona, just off of Interstate 90. This state park has been a state park since the early 1970s, and it used to be called O.L. Kipp State Park. O.L. Kipp was a state employee, and he had something to do with the state highway system. Ed has told me that like 3 times, and I can't keep it in my brain. My brain can't hold on to it. So after a while, they said this park needs a more magnificent name, as magnificent as a park. So they named it Great River Bluff State Park. It is 500 feet above the Mississippi River Valley, and the views are unbelievable. We're just going to give you a little peek right now of what we're looking at. Okay, so if you think that's nice, we're going to walk up here to an overlook, but we're staying in the woods for a few minutes because it's really, really windy today. But the good news is that since we're really not at peak at all, even this really stiff wind today is not going to blow these leaves off because, you know, there's a lot of yellow, but there's also a lot of green hanging on to these trees. So, we came here because you sent us here. Every week we go wherever you ask us to go, and honestly, we couldn't have timed this visit better. This is just one of the most beautiful places you have sent us for Facebook Live. This park is something like 13,000 acres, I think. 13. I just made it 10 times bigger than it is. Thank you. What would I do if Ed was not here? You guys would be filled with lies. I'm sorry. But there are 31 campsites. I saw a sign when we walked in. It said the campground is full, and why wouldn't it be? It's about, I don't know, it's probably about 60 degrees right now, 63, 64 degrees. So it's pretty comfortable with just a light jacket on. I think there's supposed to be just a tiny bit of rain in the forecast. Otherwise, beautiful weather. So you can also come to their group camp. They have a group campsite that can hold up to 80 people. And I don't know what it'd be like to camp with 80 people. I'm pretty sure I might not find out in my lifetime what that would be like. But if you know 80 people you want to camp with, right here is the spot. So I came in here with a day pass. It cost me, I'm going to fall down. It cost me $7 to drive into the state park. But if I'd wanted to, I could have bought a parking pass for all the state parks in Minnesota for the entire year for $35. I could come and go as much as I wanted every day if I wanted to for $35. And what that does is it helps support the trails, the garbage cans, the picnic grounds. There's a really, really nice picnic ground that we walk through to come out here on these trails. Let me tell you a little bit about the trails here. So there are high trails and low trails, and really long trails and really short trails. So it kind of depends, you know, how much time you have, how much you want to hike. But they're all really nice trails, really very easy walking trails that we're on. We had a short walk out through the picnic grounds, and then it kind of went like that. And so there's a north overlook and the south overlook. And that one's called King's Bluff. We think this one might be called Queen's Bluff, but we're not sure. So we're going to give you a look anyway, and let you see like what is so jaw-dropping. I think on this trail today, because it's MEA by the way, so the kiddos don't have school, and it's a nice day to just be out on the Great River Road. I bet you we've seen 80 people so far since we drove in and parked the car to walk out here, because this is perfection. So I'm going to have to walk like this, you guys. So if you, oh, and it's really windy now, so I'll stay really close to this camera. If you want to come, all you need to know is that this is about 15 miles, 18 miles maybe, south of Winona. So easy to get to right off Interstate 90 or Highway 61 if you're coming that way. And I believe that this park is open year round. People come out here and they go cross country skiing and things like that. But today it's all about the leaves. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let Ed just give you a look around these fantastic overlooks. Have a look. Enjoy it. Guys, see that eagle flying over there? He's getting some lunch right now. But so here's the thing. I think in the morning the light would be, I think we're back in the woods. All right, hang on. I'm gonna blow. I'm gonna blow away. I'm going to blow off of the bluff. Wowie, zowie! That's really strong wind. But it's not too cold. It's a little cool. If you're coming out here, windbreaker, whoa, and walk forward, not backward, and a jacket, and maybe some gloves would be good. Okay, so what you're looking at is one of the most special places in the state of Minnesota, and actually in the upper Midwest. We're in a place called the Driftless region, and it looks like this. It looks like Vermont. By the way, we have a super funny ad campaign going right now about Vermont. I'll just clue you in if you've seen any of the ads that are appearing all over the internet. We found out that people from Vermont was the only state where nobody from Vermont registered in our visitor book in all of last year. Only Vermont. So we have a whole ad campaign running that said, like, Vermont, was it something we said? And it's so much fun because, you know, Vermont, it looks a lot more like what you would expect to see in Vermont with the rolling hills. This area is called the Driftless region because, here's a little nerd science for you. About 10,000 years ago, there was a glacier that came down and just flattened everything in most of this part of North America anyway. And for reasons nobody really understands, once it got south of the Twin Cities, kind of around the Red Wing-ish area, it went like this. And it parted for just a little while, and then closed back up. So what it left is an area that looks way more like the eastern seaboard, the northern part of the eastern seaboard, than the rest of the Midwest. In every direction from this Driftless region is flat, and here we have fantastic rolling hills, like from the air. It just looks so beautiful. These mounds of uncrushed rock, and it's a lot of sandstone. It has a geology. We're really going to nerd out on science now. It's called karst geology, and so it's very, very porous. And so these bluffs are filled with caves. I would wager most of the caves around here have never even been discovered because there's so many of them. But anyway, it's really special. It's extremely special. It is the only place in the country that can say that it was the Driftless region. And I think that you're going to see more and more. Like I saw a magazine. There's a Driftless Eats, I think is the magazine, and more and more people are recognizing that this area is just geographically, it's so interesting, and it's so beautiful here. Really fantastically beautiful. There are some interesting trees here. They are northern cedar trees that somehow have a stand growing here, even though they wouldn't normally be in this part of the state at all. So they don't really know why they're here. But who cares? I'd be here if I was a northern cedar tree, because I mean, like, why not? It's really beautiful. So Great River Bluff State Park is just one of many, 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 many state parks in the state of Minnesota. They are all different. They are all beautiful, but I don't think any of them are as beautiful as this park right now. So here's the thing. I think in the morning, probably the colors would be better, like on those bluffs that way and that way. Maybe we'll just keep walking this way and we'll see how close we get to the other bluff to take a look out. So right now, these overlooks are, the sun's kind of hot. It's kind of high. It's the middle of the day right now, if you're wondering when we're filming this. And so I think it kind of washes out the color a little bit when it's so bright overhead. But in the morning is what we photographers will call sweet light. And if you're shooting, within a couple of hours after the sun comes up, the rays are lower, they're warmer. And I think that bluff over there for sure is going to be really, really a lot more richly colored. But since we are nowhere near our peak, I think you had a lot of time to make plans to come down this direction. So we are a couple weeks behind. I don't really know why. All the fall colors, I guess, were just kind of late for us in Minnesota this year. I just looked at a map on the internet, and by the way, if you want to track fall colors, go to our website, visit Winona.com. We have a fall color tracker, just a finger like this, moving up rather, and showing you where we're at. Right now, we're at the 50 to 75% of peak color mark. I think we're closer to the 50% mark than the 75% mark, though. As you can see here, like, look at these trees behind me here. There's a lot of green left, and that's all going to turn gold before it goes. So let's hope that the weather is going to hang on and give us a lot more days like this to get out and enjoy it. I'll tell you another secret about Winona specifically. I don't know if it's true for this park exactly, but in Winona we've got a fantastic fall secret, because way after the canopies of the trees have lost all of their leaves, so it looks like it's over. It looks like fall is done. The underside, all of the underbrush along the bluffs there, especially like back behind Holzinger Lodge, it just turns this beautiful gold. Woo! It turns beautiful gold. And so I feel like we get fall for probably 10 days longer than anywhere in the state. Actually, we do get fall longer than anyone in the state anyway, because we're the farthest south in the state that you can go, and we're also the warmest place in the state. And so I was looking at a map that showed most of the state across the northern part for sure is past peak right now. There was kind of a ribbon going through the middle of the state that was at peak right now. And then of course down here south of the Twin Cities metro area are somewhere in between, 50 to 75%. But the beauty of that is that you have a lot more time to enjoy fall. When Minnesota's such a long, thin state, really, that you could do fall for like a month here if you wanted to. I think that and we'll show you this map. This is what we're doing. So we're right here. We were right there just a minute ago. We're gonna go take a peek right here. But look at all these trails that go all over. Oh, here's King's Bluff over here. Oh. Where's Queen's Bluff? We don't know. All right. Oh. Okay, so fun fact, we were nowhere near King's Bluff or Queen's Bluff. We were just on the overlooks. So if you're going to come explore, you better spend a little more time than we spent exploring today, because at this point we just don't, we're kind of taking the easy route. And so we don't know where we are, but it looks like there's miles and miles and miles and miles. Wait, hey Ed, just show them behind me. Oh my gosh. Can you handle how pretty that is? I mean, this over here, it doesn't look like it has a lot of color, but I had just a little peek of it, and it looks like what you can see that way is really pretty. So we're going to go ahead and just walk that way and have a look at it. The other thing that was in the poll this week that did not win was the Remlinger car auction. And I'll tell you the truth, I'm going to go over there anyway and have a look, because this is something we don't know a lot about in Winona. It's relatively new, and it has a kind of a niche audience. But this fella, Jim Remlinger, he does really fancy auctions of like muscle cars or extremely rare collector cars. I know we're taking a fall hike and I'm talking about classic cars, but whatever. And so he bought a really big piece of property in Winona up on Highway 61, and he has a museum there now of some of his favorite cars. And right now, today and tomorrow, there's an auction going on. He has these auctions that apparently bring thousands of people to Winona to bid on or to oogle. Maybe they're just oogling, because I'm sure these cars are probably not cheap. But just like you see, I forget what that car auction is called that you see like on ESPN, that televised car auction. This is kind of like that, just insanely valuable, beautiful, rare, interesting cars. And it's in Winona. I mean, who knew that, right? I had no idea. So we're almost to this overlook. Oh, it's getting now it's colorful again. I'll have Ed give you a look over on that side. It's really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to walk carefully. There's a lot of rocks right here, but just a couple other things I want to say before we end up over in this overlook. So we love to hear shout outs from you guys. We get notes all the time. I run into people who are visiting, not even local people I don't even know who are visiting Winona, say like, oh, we watched these Facebook Lives. We have people who shout out at us from Maui and the Philippines and all over the world. Basically, we know all of you are connected to Winona for some reason. It's actually a pretty small percentage of our viewership is happening right in Winona. It's all of you people who just have some tie to the community that keeps you wanting to stay in touch with us, and we love it. So please send us comments, leave them in the comments mark. Share our polls with your friends if you've got friends who also love Winona. I'm going to tell you right now, the other overlook was way better than this one. I don't know where the King's Bluff is though, but I'll have Ed give you a look at this in 1 second. But back to what I was saying. So really, sincerely, we enjoy hearing from you. You care about something that we care about so much. So it's kind of fun for us to get all those shout outs coming out. So please wave at us, say hi to us, leave a comment, tell us where you watch this from, tell us something you remember. When's the last time you came to this park? Or maybe it was never, you know. But okay, wait. Have a look out here at this park. Okay, so what you're looking at over there was Wisconsin. This, of course, is Minnesota. Everything in between is negotiable. Half of it is Wisconsin, half of it is Minnesota. Lots of islands, lots of backwaters. Great to paddle. I was actually out paddling 2 days in a row this week. The weather's been beautiful. And I would stay off the main channel of the river, but some of these backwaters are gentle, and the fall colors, and you can canoe through the trees. It's beautiful. So we are having so much fun going wherever you send us every week. You tell us, we put up a poll, and you say where you would like to see a live look from. Let us know what you'd like to have another look at next week, or the week after that, or the week after that. We put them all on a list, we throw up a poll, and we let you decide where it's going to be. We are finding out things about Winona and the area around Winona that we didn't even know sometimes, so it's been a lot of fun for us too. And thank you so much for coming along with us on this fun journey. It's fun to talk with you and tell you stuff, and it's fun to hear from you what you'd like to see more of. Let us know, what do you want to see next week, and we'll see you there. Bye.